No, you can.
Welcome to the Lotus Richey Ignite Show. We are here to inspire and empower you and ignite the fire of success within you so that you can ignite and take flight in every area of your life.
Hello and welcome to Lotus Richey Ignites Life Coaching and Consulting. Of course, you are here with Lotus Richey Ignite. So come on in, come on in. Tell a friend and tell your friend of me to come on in because I've got an excellent show for you tonight. But before we get started on the show and I bring my wonderful guest, I'm going to give you some news that you need to know. As you know, there are many summits that are going on because we have been forced to interact virtually. So because we've been forced to interact virtually, so many people are trying to reach out to help people reinvent themselves, not recreate the wheel, if you will, because we don't have to do that, but reinvent ourselves. So today, before we get started on my explosive show, I want to share with you a few summits that are going on this week and next week. And if you are a person and you have a summit that you want to share with somebody, please don't hesitate. Reach out to me and let me know, and I'll go ahead and do it on my main broadcast or put it in my news that you can use. So the first summit I want to share with you is a wonderful summit by a good friend. His name is Raymond Aaron. And Raymond Aaron he had this amazing World Prosper Summit 1 a while back, and he has been brought back by popular demand for the World Summit 2. So as you can see, this is the World Summit 2. He's going to have a myriad of wonderful folks on this summit. This summit is guaranteed to be a showstopper. So now as we move forward with the broadcast, we're going to get ready to invite our guests. So those of you that are here, come on in, come on in. Go ahead and tell a friend. As I always say, tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dad, and tell your frenemies to come on in and come on in, because I've always got room right here around my table for you. So we're going to bring on a magnificent speaker. She's an author. She's got a fantastic new book that's coming out, and it has not hit the scene yet. But guess what? I've got a surprise for you. This wonderful author, she has been through the foibles of life. And when I say that, I mean, she has had a lot of rough times. And so those of you that are already in here, come on in, come on in. And if you've had some rough times in your life, go ahead and put a number 1 in the block below. Put a number 1 in the block below, because we're getting ready to get started. And I want to see the number 1s in the block below. There we go. We've got Angela from Washington, D.C. We have got the remarkable Lynn Harriet DeVerges, all the way from Los Angeles. Now, many of you may not know Lynn Harriet DeVerges, but I'll tell you what, you want to get to know her. And I'm going to tell you why, because she's got a new book coming out. That's right. That's her book right there. And you want to get it. Quebrando Barreras, Volume 2, the Saga 2. You want to get Lynn Harriet DeVerges' book. You will not be disappointed. So with that being said, I want to thank you, Lynn, for chiming in. And we are about to start the show. Our guest has finally arrived. She is here, and we are ready to go. So Lynn and everybody else, come on in, come on in. Tell a friend. And if you haven't had the opportunity yet, like, share, and start a watch party. I'll say it again. Like, share, and start a watch party. You want me to say it backwards? Start a watch party, share, and like. So here we go. Stand by. I love it.
Welcome to the Lotus Rocher Ignite Show. We are here to inspire and empower you and ignite the fire of success within you so that you can ignite and take flight in every area of your life.
Hello and welcome back. And thank you for being on a little earlier today and just having the opportunity to share with me some of the upcoming summits that are coming up. But most importantly, to be here to listen to this wonderful story from my guest. My guest is a magnificent author. She is a soul survivor, because she has a magnificent story of struggle, terror, and triumph. Please welcome my guest and your future friend, if you don't know, Mrs. Dana Priyanka Hammond. Hey, Dana, how are you, my dear?
Hi, Lotus. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. So happy to have you. Happy you were able to make it. Thank you so much. Great to see you as always. And so please share with our audience who you are and a little bit about what you do.
Well, for those who don't know me, my name is Dana Priyanka Hammond. I was born in India, grew up in America. And those who do know me, of course, you know that. And I've just pretty much gone through a long journey of being abducted, being adopted, coming to America, going through abuse, and being a survivalist. Mm-hmm. So here I am. And now that's why I have my story out.
All right. Fantastic. And I want to say hey to Nikki Hammer, the diva. She's all the way out of Chi-Town. So good to see you, Nikki Hammer. Thanks for joining us. And those of you that are coming in, come on in, come on in. Go tell an enemy and definitely tell a friend to come on in, because it's time to win, because I've always got room right here around my table for you. I've got the remarkable Dana Priyanka Hammond. She is an author, but most importantly, she is a survivor. And tonight we're going to talk about a couple of things so that she can share her story with you. So Dana, again, thank you so much for coming, and thank you for introducing yourself to our audience, because it's unequivocal. A lot of people may not know you, or they may not have heard your story, but so many people do. And like you said, you're from India, and you were abducted as a child. So can you tell us a little bit about your story? Tell us how did this happen? You were what, 6 years old?
I was 4 years old.
You were
And
4.
Yes, ma'am. So speaking of which, actually, I just got my author copies in today in the mail. So here it is, everybody. Here it is.
Awesome.
It's just a proud moment for me. I know that it looks small, but guess what? It's very impactful. It's enlightful. It's really good from front to the back. And there is a power impactful book. It's a power packed book from beginning to the end. I was told that it just keeps you on your toes. So it's called Abandoned But Not Forgotten, regarding my life and my background story. So it took a long time for me to share this story. Since 2008, I have been birthing this book out.
Awesome. So fantastic. So like she said, the book is powerful. It's a powerful book from the beginning to the end, where she shares her wonderful story of how she was abducted, if you will, and almost placed in child trafficking. But if it were not for a significant blessing, the story might have had a terrible turn. And today, Dana Priyanka Hammond, the author, the survivor, is here to share about her story. So let's start right at the top. So you are of Indian descent, is that correct?
Yes, born and raised.
Born and raised in India. Is there a province, or what part of India are you from?
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay. So can you tell us why you don't know that?
I don't know that because there was so many things that had took place from where I could have been abducted from, or at. So I won't know until I go on my journey to finding my birth family. Then I will really find out the real truth behind exactly where I'm from, where was I born. That completely is a mystery. So that is why everything is just up in the air. The only thing that I can mention is, hey, the last place I was found was Pune, India. And that's where I was placed in the orphanage. And that's how I came here to America when I was 8 years old.
Wow, that's some story. So you finally came to America when you were 8, but you were actually abducted at the age of 4.
Yes.
So I can only imagine what it must have been like. And I've been in situations where I could have probably been abducted. I remember my sister and I, we were going to get this Halloween costume. I don't remember how old I was, but I was little, but not too little, where my mom and dad didn't allow me to go to the store with my sister. And we were going to the store. And if anybody is on from Passaic, New Jersey, they know where the 100 stairs are in Passaic, New Jersey. So if you are familiar with the 100 stairs in Passaic, New Jersey, then put a number 4 in the comment below if someone from Passaic, New Jersey is here and you know what I'm talking about. These stairs went up like a mountain, but it was kind of like a shortcut to get to where my sister and I were going. And this guy, he started chasing us up the stairs, and I was crying, and my sister was ahead of me, and I fell, and she was like, get up, come on, come on, come on. And I was terrified. And sometimes you get paralyzed with fear. And so I was paralyzed with fear, but my sister's voice, I heard her, come on, come on, come on. And she cheered me on, and she just her voice was almost like the hands of God lifting me and pulling me on. And so we ran on, but God only knows what could have happened. But your story is quite different. Yes, because you were actually taken and placed in a rice bag. You couldn't see anything. All you knew was that you heard feet walking and stuff like that. Can you share with us what that was like at the age of 4? It must have been terrifying.
Yes, it was very terrifying because all you know is that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you have sensitivity that just opens up. The sensitivity that you've never even had before. It just opens up. A whole bunch of discernment, sensitivity, and just to just figure out what's going on. Because the funny part is, unless if you're going through a very traumatic situation, you're not going to remember everything. And, it just, you're just going on with your life and you don't remember anything. So
Right.
prior to age 4, I don't remember anything. I don't remember my family's face, my parents' faces. I don't remember anything.
Wow.
Where I live, where I'm from. Otherwise, I would be able to put that in the book. But that's not even the case. Until a traumatic situation took place, everything just opened up. And fear came in. I was just subject to this person's hand, and God knows where I was going. And abduction is real. Trafficking is real. When you go through trafficking, there's another level of fear that just heightens up inside of you because you don't know whether you're going to be dead one moment or whether you're going to live or what's going to take place in your life, because it's human slavery. And whether it's through sex trafficking or adoption trafficking, it's still human slavery. And it's either way, it's commodity that they're earning, and it's dirty money,
Right.
And of course, I see it this way. God's not pleased with that because it's his people. You're dealing with people's lives and livelihood. You're messing up families, families who are broken, and you're tearing families apart, So that's what's going on. And then you're messing with the child's spirit and soul. And when a child is traumatized at a young age, trauma doesn't go away. Trauma heightens up even more. And because of the trauma, because a child is very, very vulnerable, even at the age of 4, from 4 and older than 4. And that is the most valuable stage where they need their parents the more. They're covering the protection and everything. And when the child does not have that, trauma kicks in, and God knows PTSD and can kick in at that early age, and dealing with the experience, and that child can grow up as an adult just dealing with the hardcore and the root of what just took place at their young life, and then their brain just not wanting to remember because it was so traumatizing.
So wow, that is wow, so powerful, so powerful. So I want to say, Dana, we are going to have an explosive time tonight. And I want to tell you guys something. I see you, Rose Lee from Passaic, New Jersey. She knows where the 100 steps are in New Jersey. I want to go right to Chi-Town because Nikki Hammer from Chi-Town put something on here. Don't forget to share out or swipe out or start your own watch party. I want to thank Nikki Hammer for saying that. Why? Because we've got a powerful story here for you tonight. It's a story of abduction. It's a story of being stolen from her birth parents, but it's also a story of triumph, a story of fear, a story of focus, because the focus led her to where she is today. And if you haven't shared, like, or start a watch party, what are you waiting for? Because there's somebody here on the virtual living room that needs to hear this story. Someone who has been taken, someone who may have been placed up for adoption because they were taken, or someone who don't know their birth family and they're trying to make their way back. Well, if you know someone that identifies with that, send them this broadcast, because I myself know that I have a cousin We did not know her for 54 years. My aunt died. She had been placed into not child protective, but she had been placed up for adoption. And the family that she was with, they were never really allowed to adopt her, but they left the state with her. And so for so many years, we did not know her. But after my aunt died, she continued to seek out her birth family and found us. So I want to say to you, Dana, don't give up. And so, Dana, we've got a few questions that we wanted to ask of you, and we're going to jump right in. So for those of you, come on in, tell your family, tell your friends, and tell your frenemies to come on in. So one of the things people wanted to know was how you overcame. But before we go there, these are some other questions they wanted me to ask first. So because of the abduction, did you ever have any trust issues? And if so, with the abduction, trust issues, how has that situation affected your life as you were growing up?
Wow. Those are some amazing questions, first of all. Second of all, when you lose your identity, I think all adoptees go through this where they're like, oh, where's my birth family? Who is my birth family? I'm curious, where is my identity? Because you identify yourself from where you come from, your lineage, your background, your blood, relatives, everything. So, of course, those with those questions running through my mind, I did not have any trust issues in the beginning, but I did later on. It's because of the experience. The people that I entrusted myself with, I trusted that I was going to experience having a good, loving family who will adopt me. I trusted that I was going to raise up with a healthy, normal life, even if I didn't have it before in India or whatever the case is. Because I have no idea. We don't know until I go on a journey to finding my birth family. I was longing to not just identify myself. I was longing to find my own relatives so I can see who I'm related to, why do I behave the way I do? Why do I act the way I do? And where is my connection coming from? And, especially with the heart that I have. Not everybody can understand my heart. Not everybody deserves what I have to offer, especially with what comes out of me. And not everybody does understand me anyways. And that doesn't matter. The whole point is trust issue came from when here you are as a child, everything was out of your control. And when things are out of your control and you're just being thrown in places that's unexpected, and then you experience another trauma in your life, one after another, then that's where the trust issue comes from. That's where the lies of the enemy comes from. That's where the you hear this, you experience this in your spirit and your soul, and you're like, oh, I must not be wanted. Oh, I'm not needed. I'm not special enough. I'm not beautiful enough. I'm not this and that. And whatever the case is, that's a lie that all adoptees go through. Like, oh, my birth family. And then all that triggers down to my birth family. My birth family gave me up because I was a girl. My birth family gave me up because they just did not want me. They rejected me. They abandoned me. So now all these abandonment experience comes all up again, and it's heightened even more because what you go through with your relationship and who you're having a relationship with. And in my case, it was my adoptive family that raised me up, and my and they were supposed to raise me up in a healthy way, and it didn't happen like that. It ended up being abuse.
Wow. So I want to say, of course, so many folks are coming in, and I see folks from all over the world. Oscar Delgado, I want to say hello to you. Go ahead and make a comment and give us the permission to bring your comments up on the screen if you haven't before. Sonia Malave out of New Jersey, it's great to see you. Tammy Pace, the wife of Live with Larry, she's on with us. Coach Rosalind Willis, great to see you as well. And brother Amin Ojuwok, he is on with us of the Oruhu, I always say it wrong, Oruhu Academy, specifically for people of color. If you want an academy to send your children to, that's the one you want. He's been on the show before, and I'll bring him back. But brother Amin, it is so good to see you. Terrence, Mr. Unstoppable himself, Leverage, is on with us. The #1 internationally best-selling author, Oscar Delgado, good to see you. Ruth Verby, the phenomenal star herself. She's an international author, and she is one of the co-hosts for the Magnetic Entrepreneur Business Success Summit that's coming up June 6th and June 7th. If you saw my pre-broadcast, you saw that coverage on that. And also Dante Bolden, great to see you. Fabulous podcast Dante's got. And Jeff Martinet Jr., the inspiration man himself. Good to see you. So glad to have everybody on here. I see so many people streaming, and I want you to know, take it for love if I haven't called your name, but so many people are coming in. And go ahead and throw up some hearts and some thumbs up. Let's get those algorithms going. And so for those of you that might be just joining us, I have the remarkable Dana Priyanka Hammond. She is a phenomenal author. She's got a great book out. We're going to tell you some more about that book later. But for now, we are talking about the fact that she was abducted as a 4-year-old child in India. And when she was abducted, she could have been sold into child trafficking. But if it were not for just a miracle blessing, her life may have been different. But because a loving family took her in, it changed the trajectory of her life. Now, did that stop life from happening? No, it did not. She still had traumatic issues. She still faced trauma. And she still faced the longing for her identity, to find out her birth parents. And right now, she's on a quest to travel back to India to find her birth family. And so tonight, she's here sharing her story with us. And so, Dana, so many people have made comments and they're streaming in. And I want to go ahead and acknowledge them right here live on camera. So here, Nikki Hammer says, Yolanda Carter, enjoy. So thank you for inviting Yolanda Carter. And those of you that have not shared, liked, and started a watch party, please go ahead and do that right now. And thank you so much, brother Amin. This is the information for the Academy, the Uruhu Academy. There it is right there. And I'll be showing it again later on the show. Hey there, Terrence Leffridge. Thank you so much. We're happy to see you here. Good to see you, Tammy Pace and Oscar, all the way out of Mexico. I think you're joining from Mexico. Thank you for joining. So, Dana, we have so many people here with us right now. I'd love for you to go ahead and tell us. We're going to jump right into the next topic, folks, because we talked about how people have a longing for their identity, how people have a longing for their birth family. We talked about some of the traumas that people suffer when they're abducted, and especially if they're taken into child trafficking, okay, or even sex trafficking, because it's all a level of trauma. So we want to talk about abandonment issues. So you talked briefly about abandonment issues, and we talked about how this thing has affected your life. And so we trickle down to abandonment issues. So can you tell me a little bit about how people who have come through the trauma that you've come through and the longing for your parents, what are the abandonment issues like? Can you share that with us?
It's it prisons you. It's imprisoning. It makes you not surround yourself or be a social butterfly.
Mm.
You're not really a people person. You seclude yourself. You're in this stage where you're I wouldn't say a crisis, but you feel like everybody's out to get you.
So wait a minute. So I'm hearing you say that you feel, but I don't feel that way because that's never happened to me. But are you saying that's how you felt? You felt like everybody was out to get you?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not. I'm just identifying, so that's how I ended up saying you're, but it's not you.
Yeah.
It's the feelings that you get, and that's because that spirit is real. It's a real spirit. It's what you deal with until you're finally broken free from it. And when I finally got broken free from it, I was able to finally be free, and I wanted to have a little bit more of relationships with people, a more healthier lifestyle. I don't think you're completely healthy when you're always behaving like you're the victim, like some people are out to get you, or that somebody's gonna hurt you, or it's just a abandonment and neglect. It's just all formed in one, and that comes from abuse. That comes from it being treated like you're not valued, being walked all over like a dirty rag, and being treated like you're a nobody. The invisible one. And when people don't acknowledge you as a human being, and they don't acknowledge that you have feelings, that's where all that comes from, because you're not being acknowledged as a human being just like them. You're being acknowledged like as if you're not even a human being. You're not even existent. And I have went through that. I went through that with my first adoptive family. And then, of course, the state where I grew up in, it was a all Caucasian world. And it's racism, dealing with racist people. People don't like to really deal with colored people. You can look different far from them because, you have darker color skin, or you look different from them. You got bigger nose, whatever the case is. You just don't look like them. You don't act like them, and you don't sound like them because of your accent. So whatever the case is, they're threatened by you. And when you're dealing with that, you don't deal with people who are kind-hearted people, kind-hearted, spirited souls, people who want to actually help you and who are genuine. You're constantly dealing with disingenuine people, and so where could you really reach out to get help? You can't.
Wow. So wow, that is really heavy for a child growing up to deal with. It's almost unfathomable, because like you said, you're always used to being, afraid. You're always used to having abandonment issues. You're always used to thinking that everyone is disingenuous. So it's gotta be kind of paralyzing. So I wanted to say this, because I see a few people, they've made some comments saying that this is how they feel as well. I want to say hey to Yolanda Carter. Thanks for joining us. Happy to have you here. And DJ Doughboy Sansbury. Hey, how you doing, cousin? Good to see you. Please, folks, when you come in, go ahead and put in the comment below. Let us know where you're coming from. We have Zosa. Kosa Buford from Korea. Good to see you all the way from Korea. We're happy to have you here on the broadcast with us. Please feel free to chime in. So I wanted to take a couple of comments quickly because we have some folks on the broadcast that said that this is how they're feeling. And Tammy Pace is on with us. Hey, Tammy, she's all the way out of North Carolina. She says, that's how I feel too. She feels that way. And I'm not sure if Tammy was adopted or what have you, but we know this is a powerful topic. Just like Brother Ojuok said, this is a powerful topic. And this is the reality of so many people. And I also have a question. I'm going to jump this question in front of one of the other questions that I have for you. And this question is from Jeff Martinet Jr., all the way out of Ohio. He says, why do you want to find your birth parents? Aren't you mad at them? So can you kind of shed some light on that for us?
You know what? Yes, I can definitely elaborate on that. I don't believe that it was by accident or it was by their choice. Yes. Even if it was by their choice, I don't believe that we should be mad at the one that tried to give us a better life.
Right.
But in my case, I don't believe that they were the ones who gave me up or abandoned me or rejected me. My original thought was from the beginning that they were the ones who abandoned me. They were the ones who rejected me. They were the ones. It all pinpointed out to the birth family. But in the end, as I grew up, getting to know myself, getting to know who Dana is, Dana had to walk in this journey of figuring out it wasn't their fault.
Right.
It was actually the root cause of abandonment really came from my adoptive family when I came to America at the age of 8 because of abuse. When I first experienced abuse here in America, yes, and neglect of them failing to take care of my health, take care of me, my well-being, just any form of life, that's where abandonment really came in. And yes, I was really, honestly, the anger, I had to figure out who was I really angry? Who was I really mad at? I was really angry at the ones who abused me, the ones yes, was given a life, but they tried to take a life away. And the ones who didn't deserve that life. And whatever the personal situation was, if they really wanted to adopt a baby girl, they should have been ready and equipped instead of ready to enslave her and mistreat her. So no, absolutely not. I was not mad. Originally, I felt upset. I felt like my birth family were the ones. But then when I started discovering who I am, I discovered that it's not them. It wasn't by their choice. Because why I say that is I really honestly believe that I was adoption trafficked. And adoption trafficking is yes, another form of human slavery where not all, but some orphanages take advantage of people, birth families, the children, as well as the international people, whether it's America or another country, where they adopt them out for $10,000, $35,000 or whatever. It's a commodity issue going on here. So absolutely not. So if the orphanages are the responsible party here, then why should I be mad at my own birth family? Why? Wow. Because my story is I was abducted under my family's nose. There's no reason to be upset with them. Honestly, I want to find out who they are, even if it turns when I do find out, and let's say it turns out bad. And they don't want to get to know me.
Yes.
No foul, no harm. Guess what? I still got to find out where I came from, what my family looks like. You know, yeah. I mean, you gotta be ready and equip yourself for the bad as well as for the good, because you never know how it's gonna turn out. You know, and you have to be ready to go on the journey of whatever direction that it turns. You know.
Yes. Yes.
And that's the thing.
So I want to do a quick thing. I want to say hi to Patrice Campbell. Good to see you. Gerald Peterson. It's great to see you. Great friend of mine. So many people are streaming in. Vanita Busby Murray. She's here with us. Hello. Dr. Elliot Heflin. Good to see you. Uh, so many people are streaming. If I miss your name, please just take it for love. I got to tell you, this is a powerful story tonight, folks. We are talking to the remarkable Dana Priyanka Hammond, and she is the author of Dana.
Abandoned but Not Forgotten. And here's the books. All my books, 40 copies actually. I get authors get 40 copies. Just came today, so just on time for the show for me to show.
Yes. And we're going to give you guys some information about that book later on, but we've got a special surprise for you at the end of the broadcast. But I want to say to so many more people that's coming in, thank you for being here. And we have someone that's on the broadcast with us, Dana, that has a very similar story. And I'm going to take her comment in a quick minute. But in the meantime, and in between time, go ahead and get your pencils and your pens, get a notepad, because we're going to give you some more great nuggets. And we're going to tell you how you can get Dana Priyanka's book. But when we come back from this short break, we're going to reach out into the audience, and we're going to pull in one of the comments that our viewers have shared and would like to share with all of you. Be right back.
Welcome to the Lotus Richey Ignite Show. We are here to inspire and empower you and ignite the fire of success within you so that you can ignite and take flight in every area of your life.
So we'd like to share a wonderful story from one of our viewers. And we had someone ask earlier, why do you want to find your birth parents? And Dana shared that with us. And I think we kind of hit home with someone. Nikki Hammer said she has the right to know where she's coming from because I'm in the same situation, just like that. And I'm looking for my brother and my father. I was taken away from my family as well. So Nikki Hammer, I send love and light to you. And don't forget this broadcast. You know why? Because we're going to do a roundtable for people who are in that same situation. We're going to talk about it. We're going to reach out so we can help them find their birth families. And this is something that's been in the making. I had a friend from the Netherlands talk to me the other day, and I'm going to be helping people find their birth families if that's their desire. Okay. So remember, we have to respect the privacy of people. So when people come onto our show, we will allow them to tell their story, and we will be there for them as they share their story, as it moves us to tears, but also moves us to triumph. So, Dana, I want to share this quick comment from someone that wanted to quickly share this. And I'm going to go up and grab her story.
Okay. Can I step in?
Please go ahead.
There was a question. I mean, not a question. I forget the young lady's name who mentioned that she also is experiencing an abandonment issue. I forget because you showed me that comment, and I wanted to just touch base on that. The one who said that she's experiencing that too. Miss Pace. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I just want to let you know, I want to encourage you, and I want to let you know, hang in there. You are special. You are wanted. Don't let people make the decision of who you are and who you are not. They don't have the right to make that decision. God does. He lets you know that you are made out of a special fabric that nobody else is made out of. And that means you mean something. You're living, you're breathing, and you're waking up every day for a reason. That means he has a purpose for you. So ask God to deliver you from abandonment. I don't know if you're a believer, but ask him to deliver you from rejection and abandonment, because this will help you to be whole. And I'm not saying that you will completely arrive, because I'm not saying I've completely arrived, but I can tell you that I am much better of a human being now than I was before in my past. But this will bring you a peace of mind. So please, with all sincerity, just if you put yourself out there and want that burning desire to be healed, he will give it to you.
And I want to share this comment from the remarkable Lynn Harriet Diverges. She said, it's a very compelling story. It takes a strong spirit to endure some of the lessons learned to propel you forward into your passionate purchase. I think she meant passionate purpose.
Yeah.
And what would you say about that?
I totally agree. Because here's the valuable lesson I learned. You can't skip the process, even though it hurts like hell. The process hurts. Oh, yeah. But you have to be willing to go through the process. You have to go through the burn and the pain to come out as a pure gold. But you're not going to arrive, not until the day that God calls you to leave the earth. You're not going to completely arrive. But guess what? There are so many people who are missing out on their blessings because they're not willing to go through the fire. They're not willing to go through the process that's going to make them a better human being. And I'm going to tell you this, don't skip the process, because it's true. It's going to become a worthwhile. And I feel like I'm now living my best life, and I'm much happier now than I was ever in my life. I'm 35 years old, and my life has just begun. It's begun when I was 30 years old, actually, to be quite frank. But you become even better human being, because your latter days is greater than your past. Your past does not make you who you are as a human being now, and what you are becoming in the process of it.
Fantastic. And I want to share this wonderful remark from Mr. Unstoppable himself, Terrence Leffridge. He said, what an unstoppable story. It deserves closure. I encourage you to complete the journey of finding your parents. And I want to say a special thank you to Jeff Markinet Jr., because that was a hard question to ask. Aren't you, kind of mad at your folks? Why would you want to find them? I think a lot of times people need to ask that question, because sometimes people think, well, people just, they're adopted, they're gone on, they don't want to find their birth families. But sometimes deep down inside, they really do. But because they love their adoptive parents, they don't want to offend them. So oftentimes they just don't say anything. And I have a family member, a couple family members actually, who were actually adopted out. And my mom, God bless her, she was able to find them and bring them home. And the ones that she couldn't find and bring home, they found us. So a shout out to my cousin, Yvonne Reed Taylor, or Taylor Reed. I love her. She's amazing. And after 54 years of life, she finally found her family, and we brought her home. If you know what I mean.
That's amazing. But let me add this piece in there. Not everybody has a lifestyle like I do, and plus my lifestyle, my story became different. But this is like one in a million story that you don't always get to hear about, the raw that go through people who go through when adoption, when they do go through adoption. Not all adoptive children have the easy peasy life or get the loving family that they desire or want. And so the ones who do get that, I commend them. I applaud them for having such a wonderful, loving family. And that's true. They even though they have that burning desire to wanting to know who their birth family is, but there should not be any shame for that, because it was God ordained. Even if they were placed in another family's life or hands that really loved them, they should free willingly should go and look for where their root is, to give them that closure. But for me, it became easier to go so I can start on that journey to find where my root come from, because I didn't really have a loving family. So that was easy for me. It wasn't something to think about. It was a no-brainer.
So I want to share this comment quickly from Lynn Herod Diverger. She said, this life for all of us is a school where we continue to elevate who we are and ascend into greatness. She said, Dana, you are a woman of greatness. Thank you, Lynn.
Wow. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's great.
That means a lot to me.
Thank you so much. And folks, I got to tell you, Angie says that it's a wonderful story. So thank you so much. And let me share this with you. You spoke directly to Tammy Pace, and she had several comments, and I'm going to just flash them up there. She said, you are so right. And she said, I am. You told her to basically keep on keeping on and don't stop doing what she needs to do for herself. And she said she is going to keep on. And she said, you are so true. So that's great. And one more comment I want to pull to the forefront. Terrence said your past doesn't have to determine your purpose. And I'll go a step further with that. Not only does your past not dictate who you are, your past will not dictate who you will become. And how do I know that? Because I'm living proof of that. And our remarkable guest, Dana Hammond Priyanka, or Priyanka Hammond, is living proof of that as well. So another comment from Tammy Pace, she said, yes, that's my godmother, and she is the best. So of course, we all have to remember that sometimes we may not have our birth parents or the parent that we think is a best fit for us. But oftentimes we have that honor, that uncle or that best friend or somebody that God has ordained into our life to help us really ignite and take flight, I call it, because when we ignite something on the inside, it's a burning fire that helps us grow and that helps us come through the fire of life. And as I say, shake off the mud and step into our greatness. And that's what this is about. And Nikki Hammer said, when you was taken overseas, did people change your birth name once you came to America? Because people who took me, they changed my birth name. That took me away from me. So I think, Nikki, if I'm correct, you're saying that because they took your birth name, you don't really know who you are as far as what your parents named you. And if you had your birth name, you could go back to that and to really search. Hey there, Vince. Vince, fabulous documentarian. Good to see you, Vince. Good to see you. Happy to have you here. So, Nikki, that's a great comment and a great question. So did they change your birth name, Dana?
Yes, my name's been changed several times. But honestly, as I went on a journey to find who I am, actually, it really, it's not in my own power to find who I am. It really took God to help me to discover myself. I have learned, and I'm going to share this with you, Nikki. I have learned that whoever takes your birth name out even if you don't know your birth name, like I did not know my birth name, my real birthday, my year. It's the orphanage who put it together. The orphanage gave me a name, they gave me a birthday and everything. All that is lost amongst the mist. That does not determine who you are. It does not identify you. Let me tell you that. And even if you feel like you're lost, you will find out that really your name, it doesn't identify you. But it's good to know what your birth name is. It's good to know. The information is great because you're like, wow, that was my name. How cool is that? And then you discover what the meaning behind your name is. But sometimes some names don't even have a meaning. And whatever name that was given to you, just take that as a blessing in disguise, because that was meant for you.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. That is so great, because a lot of people really suffer with that because they don't know who they are. And I've gone through that as well, because I didn't know my dad's dad, because excuse me, he passed before I was born. But my cousin, Dr. Tara White, all the way in Alabama, sent me a special surprise when I was over in Japan. So I really want to send a special shout out to Dr. Tara White, all the way in Alabama, who sent me that special surprise, helping me know more about who I am and sending me the actual license, the marriage license of my great grandparents. So I was super, super happy with that. So with that being said, I see many people are still streaming in. Hey to Sonia Malave. I said hey to her earlier. Vanita Busby Murray, good to see you. And Mr. Doughboy. Now, some of the folks that are coming in, it's asking if I want to see you guys on camera. Now, that doesn't mean if I say yes, that means that we'll just be able to see your remark on camera, but we're not going to bring you into the broadcast. So if you got your do-rag on or your stocking cap on or whatever, you're not going to be brought up live in the broadcast. It's just allowing to see your comments. So if you'd like to make a comment to our guest or like to ask her a question, please don't hesitate. And I'm getting ready to go all the way to Paterson, New Jersey, and say a special hello to Rita White out of Paterson, New Jersey. And here I've got another comment. It says from Terrence Leffridge. He says, Nikki Hammer, keep being the strong individual you are. You truly are a hammer. I love it. I love it. So let's get on with some other questions. I got to tell you guys got some phenomenal questions. If you put a question in the comment bar and I didn't see it, go ahead and put it in there again, and it'll pop up like that, and I'll get to see it, because I don't want to miss anyone's questions or comments, simply because it is critically important what you're sharing. Angela Elton said, Maya Angelou says, your legacy is every life you've ever touched. What type of legacy do you want to leave for your daughter?
Wow.
Or the world?
I just want to know, I just want to leave a legacy of my story, the story that changed people's lives because I was obedient to God. It was because he wanted me to share my story out of obedience. I wanted to make sure I put it in a book, and that can help people who are going through the same thing as I have gone through. And the legacy would be to change people's lives. And it means the world to me to help people. It means the world to me to be on the same page with people and who can relate to me. And to be able to tell my story and come out of my shell, and to go through a healing journey just to explain what I have gone through. That is a legacy for me. That is a legacy, to leave a footprint.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Awesome. And, many folks are coming in. I've had people say, I'm crying. I'm in tears. I'm happy for you. This resonates with me, things of that nature. And let me tell you guys something. This is the show. We cry together. Not only do we cry together, we exalt each other and we lift one another up. There is no negativity that comes out of this channel. So if you're here to be lifted up, if you like to share wonderful stories, if you don't mind crying sometimes with somebody, go ahead and put a 5 in the comment below, because what we're talking about here today is a real story that happens to people every day. And Dana, we're going to take a quick break, but put your 5 in the comments below. And before we go, if you have not liked, shared, and started a watch party, go ahead and share a watch party with somebody and then have them like. And we're going to take a quick second break and we will be right back, because guess what? We've got another question for Dana Priyanka Hammond. And Dana's not going to get out of here tonight without answering your questions. Be right back.
Welcome to the Lotus Rashay Ignite Show. We are here to inspire and empower you and ignite the fire of success within you so that you can ignite and take flight in every area of your life.
So those of you that's just joining us, please come on in and get in where you fit in, because you fit right around my table. Tonight, I have the remarkable Dana Priyanka Hammond. She is a well-established author. She's also made Guinness World History in the Magnetic Entrepreneur book as well, where she co-authored with yours truly. But she has embarked on a journey to write her own book, and write her own book she has. And she has her book here tonight, and we're going to be sharing it with you later on in the broadcast. But we're going to get right back into some questions, because as you may know, Dana was abducted at the age of 4 and taken from India, where she was adopted into another family and then into another family, and her name has changed at least 2 times. So she's on a quest to find out who she is, but also to let the world know she was abandoned but not forgotten. So with that, Dana, we have another question for you from one of our viewers, and I'm going to pull it right here on the screen. Terrence Leffer says, Dana Priyanka Hammond, how has your husband and children supported you in this journey of self-discovery for you?
Oh, well, actually, Terrence, my self-discovery took place before I even got married. So that just alone had to been, it was a challenge for me. And that question actually is a little difficult for me right now because of my personal things that I'm going through. And my child is just 1 year old, and she fills my heart like so much. And she's just fulfilled my dream is to being a mom, first of all. And second of all, is just having a bloodborn. My firstborn has been amazing. It's been an amazing experience to help me to be grounded and rooted to knowing who Dana is even the more, and discovering my pathway in life. I can't wait for my little one to even meet her grandparents when I do go on a journey to finding my birth family. Once this COVID lifts up, believe me, I'm gonna take people along the journey by doing a documentary film. So that's my hopes and goal, is to do a documentary film, to go on the trip to India and start looking for my birth family and taking you guys with me.
Awesome. I love it. And I can't wait to be a part of it. And we've got Vince Grassi on here, as you know, or Grassi. I can't say Grassi. It's Vince Grassi. He might get me for that, folks. But Vince Grassi, as you know, is a humanitarian in his own right, but he's also a documentarian. So you might just want to touch the phone and reach out to Vince Grassi. He's an amazing guy. So I want to take another comment that I saw from Miss Rita White. She said, I just want to thank you for showing my daughter around Japan when when she was younger. She had so much fun. She showed me so many pictures. Well, you're very welcome, Rita. Thank you. And thank you for having her, because she's my niece, folks. The daughter that she's talking about is my niece, and my niece she's amazing and she's phenomenal. Miss Infinity, that's one of my hearts. All of my nieces and nephews, I'm pretty close to them. I love them all. They're really, really great. So thank you, Rita, for your comment. And I'm just so humbled that you would thank me. So appreciate that. So we have another question for you, Dana, and we're going to go right to it. So the other question is, it's how has it affected your relationships, even in business? How has it affected your relationships? I think we're actually coming back to that. How has it affected your relationships?
It has, oh, sorry, I'm getting a knock on the door.
It's okay.
It's been tremendous. It's been tremendous because if you don't get healed from your past, it will affect you in your now.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It will affect you in your now. And I think in your relationship, if you don't heal, you don't know how much of a burden you can be in that relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's your sister, your brother, your husband, whoever it is. So you want to make sure in everything that you deal with you focus on you, even if you're married or whatever the situation is going on. You focus on you. You don't focus on your spouse. You don't focus on the other people. You always create a reflection within yourself and the mirror that is in front of you. So that way you can be a better person to create a healthier relationship. Because like I said before, you don't totally arrive, but something's always a journey. And it's always a journey for you to go on to help you to become a better person, because it will challenge you. And I think, especially with marriage, it will challenge you with life circumstances, with other relationships that you do have. It will challenge you. And if you don't have the right people in your life, it won't challenge you in a positive way. It will challenge you in a negative way. And so it is of importance, especially for you, those who are going through neglection or abuse or rejection and abandonment. You make sure that you have the right people in your life that do understand you, because the people who do not understand you, they're gonna disappear from your life.
Wow. So Dana, we have another question for you. People want to know how you overcame. Did you have coaches? What's your take on that? So it's actually a couple questions, but we're going to go with this one first. How did you overcome?
Wow. I wish I had coaches. Many times I would be like, God, send me a mentor, send somebody to help me, send somebody. But oftentimes it doesn't happen that way. You have to just trust yourself. Even if you're having trust issues within yourself, just believe that you're going to come through it, come out of it. If anything, listen, out of all the people know better, get a counselor, get a therapist. Even if you don't have nobody in your life, get a therapist, get a psychiatrist, get a counselor, get both of them actually. If you don't have the money to help where it can take you on a journey to be a better human being, do it through your insurance. So that way, while you're waiting and trust in God that you will have your coach, the mentors that will finally come into your life, that will fit in, that will direct your pathway. Just start off with that, because it's never good to be alone. And because for a longest time, I was alone. And there was nobody really planting a seed in my life until one day. It happened maybe in my mid-20s. This particular person, I call her my spiritual sister, but she's my sister. She's not blood related, but she ended up coming in my life, and I've met her long time ago, but she just happened to come back in my life like in my mid-20s, and she became the God-given human being that I needed the most. And till this day, we are tight as ever, close as ever, and we are sisters. And honestly, if she's the one, even with my marriage now, she's the one who keeps reminding me of who God is. She's the one who keeps showing me the light at the end of the tunnel, showing me that God still exists, God still loves me, and his word in the past still never is not a void for me now. And even through the places that you go through, you feel like, God, where are you in all this? Where's my circumstance and situation that I'm going through? So really, you gotta, if you don't have anybody, get a counselor, get a therapist, because eventually you will have somebody who will understand. And all you need is one person, one or two people. Right. Even if you don't have two people, one person matters. And then eventually the doors will open up where you will start slowly by slowly, because it's a slow process and it may not be as quick as you want it. The slow process could be 10 years, 20 years, 40 years from now. And is as a hard pill that may be, but guess what? If you follow the rules and I don't mean rules, I mean, like, if you went through the process of healing, God tends to bring around the correct people in your life where you can go through another level of healing, because you can't handle that level of healing until you go through the first level of healing that you can't even handle first. And level of healing, the easiest healing, but for you, the most difficult healing.
Wow. And it really goes back to what you were saying about, you really got to go through the fire to win, but also, like a friend used to say when I was in Japan, one of her main things that she would say is trust the process. But what you said takes it a step further. You can't skip the process. If you don't trust the process, you've got to learn how to trust the process, because you can't skip it. You either got to go through and come to the other side of through into triumph, or you don't go to the through. You don't go to the through and knock on the door, you turn away. Why? Because you want to skip the process. But if you're going to be triumphant, you've got to go through the through.
Yeah.
So that you can just stand up and be the person that God is calling you. And so many people may not ascribe to the God concept. And some people say, well, Lotus, I don't believe in God. And I respect you for whatever you believe in. But I do know this: we all believe in something. And whatever that something is, it oftentimes helps us to get through the trying times and helps us to come out on the other side. But guess what? It's a process, and you cannot skip the process. So thank you so much for sharing that, Dana. So Dana, I know you were telling people, go and get a therapist, see a counselor, get a coach, get a mentor. And I've been a counselor, never been a therapist. I am a coach and I am a mentor. But so many people, Dana, they are ashamed. So what do you have to say about shame? Because I always say there's no shame in getting the help you need. But what would you say to someone?
Right. First, let me mention this. If you skip the process, you're cheating yourself, first of all. And you don't want to cheat yourself because you're giving yourself a disservice by cheating on your own self. And if you believe for your own self that you're going to have a better life, you have to give yourself a better life. You have to give an opportunity to give yourself a better life, and you can't block your own self to get a better life. And second, the shame part, honestly, when people say, "Oh, well, you know," it's a stigma. There tends to be a stigma when you go see a counselor or a therapist, because out in the world, people make it look like there's something wrong with you. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with getting help because everybody needs help. There's no perfect human being on this earth. And you know what? I hate being around perfect human beings because those are the people who got it all figured out. And they obviously know what they're doing and saying. But you know what? I don't like being around perfect people.
And you know what? I tell you what, I agree with you, Dana. And you know what, folks? You should not have any shame in your game. No shame in the game. Because like Dana is saying, you got to get the help from somewhere. And if you don't make the choice to go ahead and check out a counselor or a therapist or a coach or a mentor, and I always say this, we had Raymond Aaron on the show a week or so ago, when I said to Raymond, Raymond, great mentors need great mentors. And I'll tell you, people who have been through the toughest struggles typically make the best mentors and the best coaches. Why? Because oftentimes they've had a counselor, they've had a therapist, they've had a great coach, and or they've had a great mentor. So with that being said, we're going to be a little nosy. Have you ever had a coach or a mentor after you came through? And if so, why did you elect to have a mentor or a coach or somebody like that to help you, even though you may have had therapists and psychologists and all that early on? Why did you do it? Because some people say that they've been through it, but still, even after that, they had to continue to do maintenance. So can you tell us what maintenance is and if you've done that yourself?
I honestly, I did not grow up with having a counseling or therapy. And I wish I did, because I think it would help my process to be a lot more easier and faster than what I'm going through now. Because as an adult, when you become an adult, you're responsible for you.
That's true.
And can nobody take responsibility over you but you? And people will look at you narrowly. They will judge you. They will mistreat you based off of how you act and behave to them. And if you see a flaw in you, then you have to take a reflection, first of all, in taking responsibility over you first. And can nobody stand before judgment and until you take your own judgment? You judge your own self. Don't judge somebody else until you judge your own self and recognize character.
Self-reflection. I love it.
My self-reflection, I tend to get many dreams. My dreams show I end up seeing myself in the mirror all the time. And it's amazing when I know when certain things about to happen, because all of a sudden my last dream I had recently was I saw the stronger me. And this happened to me twice. I came in the mirror and it was the scared me. And it was the me. And then all of a sudden there was another Dana that just appeared before me. And I kind of got startled and I was like, what world? What is this person? I'm like, she's not intimidating. She's not here to get me. And she's looking in the mirror just like I am. And she came next to me. But she's a stronger me. And there was something that rose out of me is the strength. the strength, and so that's the new me that rose out of me, and that's the new me that's shown now.
So you came out of the mud, and Dana and I had this conversation the other day, and I was sharing with Dana what my logo was all about. And if you look right there in the top corner, right on Dana's left shoulder, you see my logo. And of course, many of you know that my name is Lotus, and the lotus flower, it is always known that the lotus flower often grows deep in the mud. And the deeper in the mud that the lotus flower grows, the stronger and the more majestic it rises from the mud. And, my parents really named me properly. Why? Because I've been through the mud, just like Dana has been through the mud. And what the mud is being abducted at 4. The mud is being raped at 6. The mud is going through divorces. The mud is going through tough times. The mud is going through being homeless. The mud is falling out of love with the perfect person that everyone says is perfect for you, but you're not in love anymore. And it's the hardest thing you ever have to do in life, to break their heart. The mud is having challenges physically where you can't walk anymore, having challenges where maybe you can't speak, or you lose your eyesight, or there's some horrific accident or illness that comes. That is the mud. And the thing is that we all have to come up out of the mud, and we shake the mud off. And then guess what? We are majestic, because we are still standing in spite of the mud.
And so,
yes, no, please go ahead.
Can nobody love you more than you? When you start loving yourself, you won't deal with any other BS. You won't let anybody abuse you. Mm-hmm. You won't let abusive words to take place in your life. You won't let anybody physically abuse you, and you won't let anybody else tell you who you are and who you are not.
Yes.
Because you know yourself better than anybody else, because you live with yourself 24/7, every day, every night. So I know for a fact, you know yourself way better than anybody else. Judgmental people as well know you.
I love it. I love it. And Dana, we've got a couple quick comments. We're going to take those comments, and we're a little past right at the top of the hour. But I want to say a quick hello to Phyllis Weaver. Great to see you out of North Carolina and all the way from Japan. We've got several people on from Japan. We're so happy to have you. We want to say hello to Hiro Ozaki. Arigato gozaimasu, Hiro. Arigato gozaimasu, Hiro Ozaki-san. So thank you so much for being a part of this broadcast, everyone that's coming in, everybody that's chimed in. And we're going to take a quick 1 second break, and we're going to be right back. Or 1 second or 2 seconds. I'm not going to tell you how long, but it's going to be quick, because I don't want you to say that Lotus can't count. But we'll be right back.
Welcome to the Lotus Richey Ignite Show. We are here to inspire and empower you and ignite the fire of success within you so that you can ignite and take flight in every area of your life.
So we've got 2 questions that we want to take. Nikki Hammer, she said, wait, what would you suggest for young people? She said, wait, what would you suggest for young people under the age of 18 years old and going through this situation? What should they do? And I guess, where should they go?
Regarding identity, regarding...
Okay, so Nikki, share that with us, because we want to make sure that we're clear and concise and we understand the question and that we give the best possible answer. And while you're doing that, Nikki, we've got another comment from Nikki. She says, where to get help for young people under 18 years old, or if they can't afford the service or not having insurance, but where can they still get help? So I'll answer one of those questions. I'll answer this question because one's an easy one for me, folks. So I'm connected with some folks who focus on preventing child trafficking and sex trafficking. So if you're interested in being connected with some of the folks that I know, please don't hesitate to inbox me or reach out to me at lotusignites@gmail.com. Reach out to me there because I will be happy to help you reach out to the folks that I know, and they will help you. So Sheandra Hardy is one of our folks. She comes on from time to time, and she's amazing. You can reach out to her. You can also reach out to Miss Jessica Frazier in Douglasville, Georgia. Those are just two people right off the top of my head that would be happy to help you. And you can reach out to Sheandra Hardy and or Jessica Frazier right here on Facebook. You can look them up, maybe send them a friend request. Let them know you heard about them on this show, and they'll be happy to help you and tell you all that they can tell you about helping people that you just mentioned. And here, I'll go ahead and put this here for you so you can reach out to me. Just send me an email and I'll be happy to help you out. So there you go. It's right there on the screen. You can go ahead and write that down. It's lotusignites@gmail.com. You can reach me there and I'll be happy to help you. And just so you know, if you don't know, we love Gemsky TV. Many of you trying to figure out what Gemsky TV is, you're going to have to just hold on tight because I'm going to have the owners of Gemsky TV on one of my upcoming broadcasts. But we love Gemsky TV. So with that being said, if you have not yet, Nikki, give us a little more clarity on your question because we definitely want to answer this question that you've asked. What would you suggest for young people who are under the age 18 years old going through this situation? What should they do? So I think what she may be asking is that what about people who are under the age of 18 who have experienced abandonment issues as a result of either being abducted or maybe placed in foster care or things of that nature? What would you suggest, Dana?
Yeah, as a young adult myself, when I was a young adult, I went through shelters and foster homes as well. It was very difficult. I wish the state would have placed me with a therapist or counseling. My suggestion would be, if you have state insurance, get, because that's free coverage, get a therapist, get a counselor. And I believe there are programs also out there for mentorship. If all anything, because young adults, young teenagers, they're going through identity crisis as well. Anyways, they're wanting to figure out who they are and whatnot. And I think if you join yourself in a mentor program where a mentor can guide you and lead you in your pathway, that would be good. I'm not sure, but Lotus, do you know of any mentorship programs or someone that young teenagers and adults can link up with so they can have the direction and right guidance in their life? Because I believe that would be good for, especially for teens.
Yes, I do know of programs that give mentorship. And as I conveyed earlier, I do mentorship programs. So it's greater than just me. I also share this information with other people that are out there. And the reason I share that is because we all can't be everything to everybody. Right. So what I'm going to invite each and every one of you on here to do is go ahead and send me a suggestion of a mentor and or a mentor program that you want to suggest to the broadcast. And what I'll do, I'll reach out to them, and or you can have them reach out to me as well. Okay. And we will do a roundtable with mentors, because this is something that Kevin Thornton and I would always do often on our show, the Wellness Architect Show. But I will do a mentor roundtable right here on the Lotus Richey Ignite show so that we can bridge that gap? So that's a great question, Dana. So yes, if you would be interested in being one of the mentors on the program, or you know a mentor and you want to recommend a mentor, please make sure you reach out to me at lotusignites@gmail.com, and we will go ahead and do that broadcast on next month. And you can look for that broadcast on the middle of next month. Okay. And so if you guys like that, idea, go ahead and put a 6 in the comment below. Having a mentorship roundtable. And I'll tell you what, get teenagers, get adults, and get small children around the table when we do that mentor broadcast. Why? Because there may be someone who's suffering in silence that you don't even know needs a mentor. So reach out to me at lotusignites@gmail.com, and we'll be happy to do the mentor roundtable. And I just want to say a happy hello to Shalette Bell. Good to see you. Love that. She said more mentors. I want to also say hello to Selena Pina. Happy that you're here. And it's Selena Pino Shimo is here. Tyrone Whitney, good to see you, Tyrone Whitney. Please tell us, everyone that's streaming in, where you're coming in from. And as many of you may know, that we are at over the top of our broadcast. We usually go about 45 minutes to an hour, but we've had some very compelling questions. And I want to thank each and every one of you for asking some of the questions. We had questions already that had come in, but you guys just added so much more value because you added your questions. And I want to take a comment from Shalette Bell. Shalette says, I'm a mentor, love inspiring and encouraging women and people. I've created mentor programs, and she put a 6 in the comments. So Shalette, I challenge you to contact me, reach out to me if you want to be a part of this mentor roundtable broadcast that we're going to be doing the middle of next month. My email is lotusignites@gmail.com. If you send me an email, let us know your first and your last name and send us your credentials as well as your resume, and we'll set up a Zoom call and we'll vet you and make sure you're going to be right for this platform and that we're right for you. And then we'll get you on board for next month's mentor roundtable. And of course, we're going to ask Dana Priyanka Hammond to be a part of that as well, and possibly get some of her books to some of our mentors. How about that? So I want to thank you so much, Shalette, for saying that. I love your comment there. And Martha's Vineyard, she says, Selena Pina Shimo. Hey, Selena, great to see you. You're coming all the way from Martha's Vineyard. Great to see you. Yes, we'll have a glass of wine with you. And I forgot, folks, if you're here and you haven't gotten yourself something to drink, make sure you get something tasty to drink. Always bring something tasty to drink. Tonight, I'm all the way out. I had some lemon tea earlier. Okay, Shalette, I will look for you to reach out to me. I'll be waiting to hear from you. So, Selena, if you are a mentor as well, I humbly welcome you to also be a part of that platform. Or if you know someone who needs mentorship and needs training, don't forget to have them reach out to me at lotusignites@gmail.com. And also, for those of you, many of you have been calling in and texting in and saying, Lotus, what are you drinking? Okay, I'm going to share it with you. This is Izumio. This is hydrogenated water or hydrogenized water. And I drink this every day, a few times a day. Why? Because the hydrogen permeates my cellular membranes to quickly hydrate my body. It prevents me from having illnesses. And if I get something that's symptomatic of a cold, I quickly recover. So that's what it is. It's hydrogenized water by Izumio. It's a part of my Lotus Ignites Wellness for You brand, where I've partnered with Naturally Plus out of Japan. Yes, so many of you know I lived in Japan for a while, so I love Japanese products. So one more comment we've got from Nikki Hammer. She says, don't forget to add Terrence Lethbridge to that show as mentors. Well, I'm not going to add anybody who doesn't ask to be a part of it. Now, some of you may not know Mr. Unstoppable, but Mr. Unstoppable is always welcome. You know why? Because he's going to teach our young folks to be unstoppable. And so I challenge all of you, make sure you join us, because we do this wonderful broadcast each week with Mr. Unstoppable himself, Terrence Leffridge, as well as the remarkable motivator, Miss Wanda D. Hollis, and the CEO of She Exists, none other than Janelle Harris, every week. And we're moving that broadcast to Thursday. So that'll be coming up, and it's called the Coaches Cafe. So make sure you tune in for that as well. And for those of you that don't know, I want to share some information with you about this upcoming summit with my dear friend, Raymond Aaron. Raymond Entrepreneur Business Success Summit. And I'll play a short, brief moment of it right here as we take a quick break, because when we come back, we're going to wrap up. So if you have any further questions, don't hesitate to put it in the comment below.
Welcome to the Lotus Richey Ignite Show. We are here to inspire and empower you and ignite the fire of success within you so that you can ignite and take flight in every area of your life.
So we're taking a sip. That's right. We're taking a sip. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to inbox me for more information about our water if you're interested. And also, if you want to purchase the book, I've got several people asking, where do we purchase the book and where do we get tickets? So the tickets for the World Prosper Summit, as well as the Magnetic Entrepreneur Business Success Summit, you can buy tickets, or one is free and one you need to purchase a ticket for. I'll have the link to both of them attached to this broadcast as soon as we get off. Why? Because then you can go right to the link and click on it. I could post it here, but you'd have to type it in, and I want to make it easy for you. So we had Phyllis Weaver. She wanted to know where she could purchase, I think, the book. So back to the book. So I'm going to give you some information on the book so that you will know. You can buy this book on Amazon, but let me tell you this, it's officially available as an ebook. So you can get your e-copy now as well as pre-order a printed copy. But I've got another surprise for you. When Dana got her books today, she called me and said, Lotus, I got my new books. And we thought it would be very fitting, and I'm going to take a sip, to do something very special for you. Dana, you want to tell our viewers what we're doing for them?
Is it 9th? I don't know. I'm going to send a copy to Miss Lotus, as well as I'm going to send a free copy to one of you guys.
So the first person, or maybe I should mix it up. What do you think? You think we should mix it up, Dana? We should mix it up. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. The fifth person that puts their address or puts their name and Dana in the comment, the fifth person that puts their name and Dana, D-A-N-A, in the comment below, the fifth person that does that, they're going to get a free book from Dana Priyanka Hammond, Abandoned but Not Forgotten. From me, I'm going to send you a book from her, because I'm buying a book from her specifically for the fifth person that puts their name and then Dana in the comment below. Go. So once we get that, what I invite you to do, that fifth person, we're going to look and see who you are, and we're going to bring it up, okay? And we're going to make sure you have my email address so you can email us and get that book. So I want to share with you, this is where one of the places you can get the book. It's a Nook book. It's an ebook. You can get the Nook book at $6.99, but you can also buy it on Amazon. Okay. And if you go to Amazon, you can get that book and you'll get a hard copy of that book online. So let me put it in here. And I'm giving you time to go ahead and be that fifth person. You can get that book also on Amazon right here. They have it now available on Kindle. On Kindle, they have it available. And I'm going to share that with you as well, so you can see that and how you can get that book from Amazon, because a lot of times people deal with Amazon and they have Prime memberships and things of that nature. So you could get that book on Kindle right now for $6.99 before it comes out, because the hard copy has not been released yet. So those of you that, if you are the lucky fifth person that puts your first and last name in there and Dana next to it, you're going to get a hard copy that hasn't even been released yet. There you go.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. So let's check the comments. Wow, we've got a lot of comments. Nikki, Dana. Okay, so I've got to go back. I've got to look, folks. I've got to look. Help me out, somebody. Help me out. Help me out. Help me out. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, I've always got something I'm giving our viewers. And, thank you so much, Shalette. Appreciate you. And Phyllis said, that's cool. And Angie said, she put Angie and Dana. You were the first one, Angie. Selena, Pina, Shimo, you are the second one. Phyllis, you are the third one. So we've got Angie, number one. Selena, number two. Phyllis is number three. And Nikki Hammer is number four. And guess who we have at number five? She is an internationally best-selling author herself and a mother of two beautiful children, a fabulous author, Miss Simone Rowe. So she is the winner of Abandoned But Not Left Behind. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for joining in on that one. So Simone, go ahead and reach out to me, please, and send me your information at lotusignites@gmail.com. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So with that being said, join me on my next broadcast when I'll have another phenomenal guest. And for those of you that may not know, don't forget, I have another book coming out. This is my initial book. I actually co-authored this book with several co-authors, and it's amazing. It tells our biographies. It tells a little bit about us and how we made it. But also remember, I have a new book coming out, Cabreras. It is the second saga, along with Rosemary Sanchez, Oscar Delgado, and a myriad of other authors. Like, who is that? Miss Exani herself, the publisher. I can't tell you enough about this book. This book will knock your socks off. It's an amazing book with co-authors from all over the world. And Lynn Harry DeVerges is also one of the co-authors of this book. Alina Exani, we love you and we appreciate you. Rosemary Sanchez, muchas gracias, señorita. So thank you so much. Don't forget to get that book. And also don't forget to go to the summit that my dear friend Raymond Aaron is having, the World Prosper Summit 2, coming right to you this coming weekend. And then don't forget to see me on the following week on June 6th and 7th, where I'll be on the summit with the remarkable Raymond Aaron, who is co-hosting with Gregor and Ruth Verby. That's going to be a summit you don't want to miss. And also, this summit has a special surprise. I've had the esteemed pleasure of getting together with folks all around the world, and we are going to translate this summit in various languages. So it will be translated in Tagalog by Grace Bautista. It will also be translated in the mighty language of Akan, which is an African language of Ghana, by Mr. William Ahura. Don't forget the language of Akan. Also, Merel Tulakime, she will be translating it. She is the CEO of the engineering show all the way in Australia, Merel Tulakime. She will be translating in French. And also, don't forget, we'll be translating in the Indian language by Dr. PPP, the celebrity guru. He will be translating as well. And we will also have it translated into German and or Dutch by Miss Ida and Miss Mariska Norden, who are the proud owners of Gimski. So don't also forget this. We have an amazing translator named, guess who is it? You don't know? I'm going to tell you. Takako Matsudaira, the world famous translator for the Golden Cup coach of rugby. None other than Eddie, who? Eddie Jones. There we go. So we are really kicking off this summit with Robert J. Moore of the Magnetic Entrepreneur. And we are bringing this to you as a part of Lotus Roche Ignites. This is what Lotus Roche Ignites is doing with her great team, and Lynn Harrod Diverges and everybody on the team, just coming together to bring this message to everyone across the world. We have so many dynamic speakers on the summit who are going to be helping you help to reinvent yourself and create new levels of wealth. So we've got some final comments. I'm going to go ahead and share the comments with you as we begin to wrap up our broadcast. I want to say special thanks to everyone that has been a part of this broadcast. I really appreciate your time. I appreciate your love, and I appreciate your comments. So thank you so much. As always, Phyllis Weaver, we're always happy to have you. If you need a coach, if you're having any issues with diabetes or anything like that, hit Phyllis Weaver up, because she's the one that you need to see. So happy to have you here. And Simone Rose, she said, it was a blessing to be a part of this live video. It was too powerful. So thank you so much. And Selena Pina Shimo, she said, how exciting. So Selena, it's great to see you. Make sure you continue to come back and be a part of this broadcast. And with that being said, we are going to defer right to Dana Pianka Hammond for her final words of this broadcast.
Wow. Thank you, Lotus, for this wonderful show. It definitely has been a great conversation piece. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and listening. I appreciate you listening to my story and what I've had to share so far. I'm glad that I was able to reach out and help people and help the teens, especially. I'm glad that now, because of this, we're able to get some mentorship programs together, especially teens in need.
Thank you so much, Dana. And we're so happy that you were a part of the broadcast tonight, Dana. I got to tell you, we're so happy about you and having your book and coming through the struggles and coming through the mud and being able to shake it off and move from terror, trauma into triumph. So thank you so much. And those of you that didn't get her book tonight, go ahead and get her book anyway. Go ahead on Amazon. You can also go on other platforms and grab that book. It's only $6.99 on Kindle, and you can get this book coming up. Now, Dana, when's the release date of the book?
The release date is June 18th, next month.
Okay.
So please, people, pre-order the book. It's available for pre-order both on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Get your copies. I'm also looking forward to turning this book into an audiobook. I don't know when that's going to be, but sometime soon I will be doing that. But as of right now, both the ebook and print is available to pre-order. And please, people, please follow me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube channel, because I do have my own YouTube channel put together. I so far have all my interviews on there that I've done so far, and hopefully you guys can follow me with my next journey on that's coming up.
Awesome, awesome. And again, don't forget to follow Dana on YouTube, and also follow me on YouTube at Lotus Rashay on YouTube. And if you're ever a guest on my show, guess what? You too will be on YouTube. So thank you so much for your time, for your love. Special thanks to Brother Amin Imun Iyojo. I always say his name, but I just simply say Brother Amin. So thank you for joining us, Tammy Pace, Oscar Delgado, all the way from Mexico, and everybody around the world. I want to thank you and tell you this. Always remember, no matter what it looks like, no matter what it sounds like or what it feels like, know that it's always time for you to do two things: ignite and take flight. And we will see you next time here on the Lotus Rashay Ignite Show. God bless you and stay healthy. Ignite and take flight.
Welcome to the Lotus Rashay Ignite Show. We are here to inspire and empower you and ignite the fire of success within you so that you can ignite and take flight in every area of your life.